And I see that there has been some confusion about that already, but I just wanted to clarify that part. So far we have seen boxes coming out, not in sequential order. They're being counted. We are not being, we are going to be given SORs at the end of each count. But when that is done, it is not going to the tabulation center. And I will say that again, it is not going to the tabulation center, which is unfortunate because our understanding is that we would always see a count as to how the votes are being tabulated and all these things. What we were made to understand is when they are done with one district, then they're going to take it to the tabulation center to be able to provide that data when it's completed. That is very, very unfortunate because I think the nation deserves to hear pretty much how the votes are being counted. There has been a little bit of a hiccup, and when we were at Ashman's building for the initial count of Region 4, one of the APNU AFC members who was an agent there threatened the diplomatic corps. I think she swore at them, threatened to stamp a commissioner in his face and another party member, and that person is now again going through the same motions in this. I posted earlier on social media that there has been a coordinated attempt by the PNC to derail Region 4 count. It seems as though they had this down to a time that at such and such time they are going to engage in this, because we know that the lady plus her daughter and another agent all tried to disrupt the Region 4 count at the very same time. So that could not just be something by chance. It could not be something that is unique to any individual station. It is obviously an attempt to undermine and derail the Region 4 count at this point. We are keeping a watchful eye on it. We have not had a chance to engage the Commission on what we can do to address that. But I know had it been any other party, they would have taken swift action to expel those personalities. But yet they're not doing anything in relation to these disruptive persons. So that is very concerning to us.
You said this statement of return are not taken to the tabulation center after each box. Where are they kept until the entire district is finished?
Well, at least what we've been briefed on is that the SORs will be given to each agent for each party present. And after that, the CEO has to make a photocopy of his and take it to Madam Chair. And then one goes up to the tabulation center. Now that chain of custody in itself concerns us because we have seen what Mr. Mingo did at GECOM, at the Region 4 office, where what was presented to the public was not reflective of the actual votes that were cast. So the chain of custody from when Mr. Lowenfield takes that SOR and then he takes it to some back room somewhere to photocopy it and bring it to Madam Chair and then take that and take it upstairs, there is a lot of room for those numbers to be altered, for the integrity of that SOR to be compromised.
Those SORs are not carrying the signatures of all the party agents represented there?
Absolutely, but we have seen that they have absolutely no regard for the SOR, for the signatures, because when we saw the SOPs previously, all the party signatures were on them, yes, but the numbers were altered. And we are afraid that same thing is going to happen again.
Aren't you given a copy of the SOR as well before?
Absolutely, and every party was given a copy of the SOPs. And all of those signatures, if you're asking a question, let me answer it. All of those questions were already answered previously. If the SOPs were given to each party, their signatures were on it, yet they showed absolutely no regard for the integrity of that document. They took those and altered the numbers and then brought it back and presented it as pretty much what their official document is. So the same avenue exists for the numbers to be altered in this process again.
Are you aware that there is a mechanism in place for party agents to make any complaint or raise any objections to a process that is not transparent currently as the recount is going on?
Absolutely, and we are going to operationalize that mechanism. We're going to activate it, by our complaints, and we're going to make no qualms about that. But what we have to also be very cognizant of is the fact that these things have happened previously, and when we attempted to raise them at the Region 4 counting office, those complaints were completely disregarded. So we have to ensure at some point that we do not go down that route again.
Yeah, but Mr. Schumann, I'm very concerned about the complaint in respect that there are several party agents there, GECOM staff, the scrutineer team from CARICOM, observers. What are they saying about the process?
Well, we haven't had a chance to speak to the observers yet. You have to remember, we're barely halfway into the recount, into day one, my apologies. And judging from what we are seeing, it concerns us about the pattern that is already being laid out, because it seems to have been carried over from what transpired at Ashman's building into this process now.
In what way?
Well, I've already described those. I don't know, over every NCN is in there covering when the Fifth Estate is locked outside. There is a very deliberate reason why these things are happening. It is not that they want a process that has the integrity and has the confidence of the public. It is that they want to ensure that the amount of eyes that could look at these things and ensure the integrity is there are absent.
So are you saying you're not confident in the security measures put in place by GECOM? And if you're not, then wouldn't you have indicated this to them prior?
We have made every attempt to communicate to the Elections Commission. We had a meeting here about a week ago when Madam Chair and the Commissioners briefed us in this very structure. We raised those concerns. Unfortunately, a significant amount of them were never taken on board, and we're going to continue to do everything that we can to ensure that this process is not derailed. That is the best that we can do at this point.
Which one of the counting stations are you stationed at?
One person at the tabulation center, and I'm meant to augment.
How far in one of these stations where the big boxes?
It is very difficult to tell because the boxes are not coming out in sequence. You have to remember, some boxes also have more votes than others, and since they're dealing with 4 separate regions at this point, it is very difficult to gauge that.
What do you know about the DP not having keys to some of the one of the containers?
I'm sorry, say again?
DP not having keys.
I've already cleared that up earlier. It is not an issue about keys. It's the locks were actually rusted, so when you put the keys in, the keys would not work. So they obviously had to find a way to break that lock or infiltrate it.
Mr. Schumann, we were told that a ballot box belonging to Region 1 was submerged. Any thoughts on that?
In order for something to be submerged, it must be completely underwater. I don't think submerged is the right word.
The content of the box.
I cannot speak to whether the contents of the box were completely wet or soaked or anything, because all I saw was a picture of it. That's all I can say on that.
Are you concerned that the contents, there might be some issues with visibility when the box is open?
Well, there's a reason why they use pencil, and pencil does not fade in water, right? If you had used pen, you could say, right, well, the ink was washed out. But I think, based on my understanding of the ballots, is that they actually, I can't say that they're waterproof, but they're smudge proof. So, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.